Okay, so pronunciation can be an iffy subject. People pronounce words differently in terms of intonation, accent, or certain speech pathologies. These differences in pronouncing certain words can be based on your culture or local dialect or upbringing. For example, this word is pronounced in different ways. Depending on which side of the Atlantic you reside, it's pronounced as either leisure or leisure. Other times, though, words are pronounced differently by different people because they're made-up words that are only ever seen written down and never heard pronounced by a reliable source. In such instances, people will often just judge for themselves how to pronounce a given word or name. This was the case for a lot of terms and names in early generation video games. There was no voice acting to speak of, but silly, made-up names and terms all the more. One of such game series with a distinct lack of voice acting until quite recently, but with a lot of novel terms, is The Legend of Zelda.
It's The Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad. Those creatures from Ganon are pretty bad.
The Legend of Zelda games take place in the fantasy land of Hyrule, and I think it's safe to assume everyone also agrees on the pronunciation of the word Hyrule. But when it comes to the following derivatives of the word Hyrule, which describe its inhabitants and places and objects found in Hyrule, people's pronunciation starts to diverge. But what is the correct way to pronounce the names of the locales, trinkets, and people found in the land of Hyrule? To find out, let's go back to the source and look at the Japanese incarnations of these terms. Japan is, after all, where these words were originally made up. Japan uses 3 writing systems, or syllabaries. They are kanji, hiragana, and katakana. The terms we will discuss today are written with the last one, katakana. This syllabary is used mainly to write loan words from languages foreign to Japan, such as English. And if you haven't noticed before, the word Hyrule does look an awful lot like a combination of the English loan words Hy and Rule. Hyrule is written with the katakana characters Ha, I, Ra, and Ru. Hyraru, which you can see translates pretty obviously to the English Hyrule. Now let's look at some of the other words which denote the locations, inhabitants, or objects found within Hyrule. As you can see, all these terms in Japanese start with the same 2 katakana as the Japanese word for Hyrule, the Ha and I characters, creating a Hi sound. Hylia would then translate to Lake Hylia, not Hylia or Hylia. The same goes for Hylia no Tate to Hylian shield, and Hylia Zoku to Hylians. The reasoning thus being that if the Hai sound from Hairaru is translated to a high pronunciation for the English term Hyrule, then that same translation logically also applies when translating the Hai from the Japanese Hylia to the English Hylia or Hylian. I hope you found this video insightful. Let me know in the comments if you'd enjoy a similar video on a different franchise or if there's anything I missed out on for Zelda. Until next time, thanks for watching.